Well, the topic this week is, I think, bright, brilliant, wonderful, and breathtaking. So, the topic is inspiration. And it is my intention and purpose that as the result of our study and our contemplation and our meditation, examination, and our willingness, that each and every one of us is inspired in some wonderful new way. What does it mean to be inspired? To have brand new thoughts, feelings, experiences. When it comes to experience, most of us have been around for a little while. It's not our first rodeo and it's not our second rodeo. It's one of the ones after that. But many of us could get together and sort of say, boy, I've been through a lot in this lifetime. I've had multifarious adventures all over the world, and boy, have I gathered in and experienced an enormous amalgam smorgasbord of experience. I've had so many experiences in this lifetime. I've had so many experiences, in fact, I scarcely have room for any new ones. Well, I think that's hardly the case. I think there's so many interesting ways to think about God, and there's no one thought, obviously, that could ever incorporate what God is, because God is obviously greater than all thought. But we perhaps can approach the experience of God with more and more interesting thoughts. And we might think of God as all the experience there is to be had in the universe. I, on the other hand, am a very small dollop of experience. You are your experience, but we might think of God as all of my experience, all of your experience, and all of everyone else's experience, all being experienced at once. It's, well, it's infinite. It's so large, it's beyond our capacity to really understand. But when we realize that God is all experience and that we're a portion of that, then this week I'm trying to gather and realize the thought of all the experience that I haven't had yet, In other words, with all the insight and experience and lessons and learning and et cetera that I've had in this life, I haven't even scratched the surface. There is so much experience. There are so many experiences that I've not had yet. And just this realization opens me up to this thought that in any given moment, fresh new ideas and thoughts can appear literally out of nowhere. And this brings up the word array, not hooray, but array, A-R-R-A-Y, array. The word array, let's think of where it's used. There's something called the Very Large Array of radio telescopes in, I think it's New Mexico. Remember the movie Contact with Jodie Foster? I love that movie. It's so inspiring. But she spends a good deal of that movie at the Very Large Array of radio telescopes in New Mexico. And these are these huge dishes, not just one, but it's a very large array of them. And these dishes are pointed into outer space. And what's interesting about the Very Large Array in this movie is that they're looking for extraterrestrial communication. And so they're continuously moving these arrays to slightly different angles and slightly different orientations, because these very large arrays, these radio telescopes, they're pointed out into the infinite, and based on the direction that they're pointed, they could take in brand new information, data, and stimulus that they've never ever seen before. And this week, I'm saying each and every one of us is an individual radio telescope. And if we're always pointed in the same direction all the time, all we can really do is receive what we've already received. So while inspiration definitely comes from a power, a source, a light, a brilliance, an intelligence greater than ourselves, and while that may be above our pay grade, what is within our capacity is to put ourselves in fresh, new, interesting positions to receive. We're not the inspiration. We are the one who gathers the inspiration. And so this week, we might look at various ways we can put ourselves in new positions to receive. In other words, move ourselves differently so that we can gather new ideas and new thoughts. So, how shall we do that? Well, just the willingness to realize how habitual our aim is and to move a little bit, take a new class, talk to a new person, see a new body worker, try new anything to put ourselves in a position. In the movie Contact, Jodie Foster is really frustrated and there's no insight, but she keeps moving the array a little bit. And then one day, poof, a brand new idea, a fresh new inspiration comes. So the mantra this week, and we're just getting started on this topic of inspiration, but the suggested mantra this week is, God is inspiring me. So try it out. Think about all the things you haven't thought of yet. Imagine all the experiences that we haven't had yet, and to consider that God has all of that. That signal is always being sent to all of us, and it's simply a matter of us putting ourselves in an open-minded, willing, and receptive position to receive. See you tomorrow.